Okay, open the meeting of the Whately Board of Assessors, June 4th, 2026 at 3 p.m. First item on the agenda is signing, notarizing chapter 61 lien and lien release.
Yeah, so this was one of the chapter applications, which was over the 90 days. So it was automatically approved. We have the lien and lien release prepared. Both of them need to be signed and notarized. As the notary, you just need to see their licenses or.
No, I know that, so it's
Yeah,
okay.
okay. So, I have the application here if you wanted to look over that again.
And lien release that show what the lien is on.
Yeah, so I have the application for the property. It was just a new owner for chapter land. And so it's releasing the old owner from the lien and adding the new owner to a new
Chapel
lien,
and lien,
just to
okay, gotcha.
make it official.
Yeah.
Is that on that statement who that is and who the
Yeah,
hired you?
yeah. And that's the release for the old owner on that lien. And the new owner is paying for both of these to be recorded with the registry.
Oh, we're open, but I don't see any pictures.
Oh, I think. This one.
Yep,
There were two signatures, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, Fred, thank you. There we go. See what you need to see.
I don't really want to see myself, but yes.
Who is the property owner?
I think it's on this one, Lynn Corbin, it looks like,
Yep, that's the new owner.
in this very first paragraph, I think, right? Or maybe it's the other one.
The new owner is on
Okay.
the lien, yeah, and the old owner is on the lien release.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Let's see, that's true.
You said the new owner is on,
It should be on the lien and then the old owner's on the lien release. So it's actually two separate documents that need to be recorded because they're different liens.
This is the one that's
the old,
still the first sentence is the same of this.
okay.
Yeah, it's the same parcel, just different owners.
Assessed by, but that's two, I got it, okay, we're good, we're good. Gotcha.
Chestnut Plain Road, that's Chestnut Mountain Road,
Right, a little different.
but that's off of North Street.
No,
Where's Chestnut Mountain Road?
I believe you have to go up.
If you guys
So,
don't sign it, I'll have
yeah,
Amy go ahead
I
and.
believe you go up Hatesville Road to get to Chestnut Mountain Road up into Webb or somewhere. Chestnut, I don't know. I can't remember.
Do you know where Chestnut Mountain Road is?
Chestnut Mountain?
It's like an uncontinued.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's a discontinued
Yeah,
road.
that's the
It
one I
goes,
thought.
it goes from Westbrook
Yes,
over into Hatfield,
Gotcha.
up by the tree farm.
Oh, okay.
it's not road accessible. It's not.
I mean, if you have to keep it in.
That's good water.
And I also attached, both sets of minutes from the last meeting. You guys wanted to go ahead and start looking those over.
Okay, yes, and I think, well, Amy's here. Amy, you post the minutes of the meetings?
I do, my office does.
Have you received any from the Board of Assessors lately?
I can't tell you off the top of my head, my friend, I've been super busy with town meeting.
Cause,
Any minutes that I get, I flag and I do a full dump.
okay,
And every time you guys sign off on the minutes, I scan those in and send those to be posted.
there's nothing been posted in, calendar year 26 and 9 months of 25 as of a week ago.
In 25.
There are very few, one or two posted in each year, and we've been meeting every month. There's about 8 or 10. And I brought this up 1 or 2 meetings ago, and I think Derek was aware of it and said, yeah, he has the electronic copies of the minutes to submit to be posted. Well, 2, 3 months going by, they're still not posted.
I'll have to check for it, but as far as I knew, minutes were taken care of up until a couple weeks ago. I just want to also say that technically by law, as long as you guys have them, it's okay. They don't by law have to be posted. Only the planning board and ZBA and select board by law have to be put besides the committee that has them. I have to have them too.
So,
But I will certainly double check and see what's missing and see if we can't rectify that.
so then are you saying we don't need to submit?
No, I would like every board and committee to submit to me to have them posted because I think it's good practice.
And if there's any that are missing, I'll go through. I've been gathering all those to consolidate them, so we can work on that.
Do you keep a hard copy of all the minutes somewhere, of all the meetings?
The ones that I get, yes.
The one you get hard
By
copy?
law, by Massachusetts statute, I have to keep planning board, select board, and CBA, town meeting election minutes. I think it's good practice to keep all boards and committees in case somebody has a question, so. But by law, as long as the committee has the minutes and they are producible if somebody requests them.
Okay, but otherwise, like for this committee, you have a law, a record or a book,
I have the hard
you
copies.
have the hard copy, but does Amy you have a copy of it as well?
I would have to look,
You have,
but I would like them.
I send in the digital copies. I keep the hard copies and I also have
okay.
the scans.
Yeah, Abby and I'll work together, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right,
Appreciate it.
is that it?
Yeah, that was the only thing.
Okay,
Notarized.
thank you. Have a good weekend, everybody.
I have a comment on the old,
Amy.
I have a comment on the old minutes.
Which one are you going to be?
4A. I did not research this.
Just a second. Get this all together.
4A. I guess I was delegated to research this and I have not done that.
Okay, do you,
Sorry.
for making an edit? No, let me just grab that.
Machinery?
Right, it says Mike is to research valuations. I haven't done that.
Do you want me to take your name off of it or just put the board
Will we
instead of
resolve it today?
the evaluation? Possibly, we possibly
Let's
will.
do this. If we resolve it today, then my name comes up, but we don't, I will act on
That sounds good.
it. Okay.
Okay.
And, I guess 5G, I want the DOR, email notifications, DOR, and yeah, you sent us the link, sign up for emails. Okay, so we're only gonna get them directly, not from you.
Yeah, you could sign up and you would get anything they would send me.
Okay, but that's the only way we're getting them is if we sign up. You're not gonna send it to each one of us. There.
No, I think that's a bit duplicating efforts, if you will.
Okay. Has anybody signed up to? Emmanuel?
I haven't.
I sent you guys the link.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm just asking the board here.
No,
Has anybody
I
signed
have
up?
not.
I get things periodically from DOR. I've gotten 2 things this week.
I know with, because you guys are on the DOR website as the assessors, you should be getting them automatically like you are, because with signing up for Course 101 or even just being on the website with your email on it, they should be sending you stuff anyway. It might be going to your spam because they're
Yeah,
automated
that's right.
emails.
That's
That-
going.
Yeah, so that's something to look into as well.
Okay, so for our next meeting, shall we, I guess,
Fred, would you like me to forward on to you the 2 I've gotten this week?
yes, I don't remember seeing well. We got something from our town administrator sent on the equalized values.
I remember seeing that. I saw
Yeah,
something.
that came from our town administrator.
Those aren't automated though.
That didn't come from DOR. Well, DOR may have sent it to him, but I didn't get it direct.
Ah,
Yeah, that's the only thing that we got related to.
And one of the links I sent was to sign up with DOR as well, if you weren't already getting them, which if you are, they might be going to spam.
Okay. Well,
Do you
let's
want them
check.
also, Mike?
yeah, send them to me and I'm gonna look into this. I don't. I mean, I get so much spam, it's unbelievable.
I know,
Well, maybe
yeah.
these won't go into spam because they're coming from me.
Yes, oh, they should, yes, agreed, no, agreed.
You know, I get your stuff. It doesn't come spam.
Yeah, when,
I get both of yours. I don't get spam, but it's spam. But, okay. Okay, so are we all set for the April 23rd meeting, or do we want to wait till we talk about the armed vehicle exercise?
If you would like, if the executive session minutes look good to you, you can approve those. And then as far as the regular meeting minutes, I can make any corrections if we need to. And I could present them at next month's meeting to be officially signed off on if you guys wanted to do it that way.
okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry. The April 23rd minutes, we can sign off right now.
The executive ones, because
Executive, yes,
any correction that has been brought up was on the regular open meeting minutes.
okay. I heard you then. So,
But however you guys want to do it is, it's okay.
well, I'm not the chair, but I suggest we look at the April 23rd minutes and go from there, unless you disagree, Brett.
But before we look at the executive session ones where we talked about the one property owner,
Right?
is the final resolution of that on the agenda for today?
No, because we can go into executive session if we need to, but there was nothing that needed to be brought up in the meeting to be voted on, so that's why it's not on the agenda.
No, but I guess I asked some clarification.
I did reply to your email, if that's what you're referring to.
Right, yeah, I received that, and one comment was, and I think it's stated in here, we approved the abatement requests for everybody else, the 4, 5, or 6 that we got. We all signed off on them. this was also a abatement request for a different property owner. And I guess RRG is not asking the board to sign off. Or we haven't yet. I don't know if that's coming or,
Well, they did ask, but my question is this in line with our, is this a discussion point now?
well, it relates to the executive session.
Well,
Uh,
David was looking for, if I'm not misunderstanding, Peter got involved too.
yes,
Peter got involved, and the resolution was, David said, if two of the board members were just okay by this, I would move forward. So I believe you were okay with it, Jane, and I was okay with it.
okay, but how is that different than the other 6 requests that we approved as a board, not as individual members?
I think he had us reply individually because like I couldn't see Mike's vote because of the open meeting law.
Right,
So I interpreted that to be, he was asking, did we agree with this settlement offer? I guess that's the term, or not. And so
And
I
it's-
replied individually to David.
As did I, yeah.
okay,
So I'm assuming that was the same thing as like us voting in a meeting.
Now,
And it didn't require a official vote, nothing recorded in the minutes, it didn't have to be in a recorded meeting. He just wanted verification. And he said email was okay,
but
and it
that,
wasn't, it's not a regular abatement, it was a settlement, so that's why it wasn't presented in the typical abatement procedure.
can I ask a question?
okay, go ahead.
Is the RG contract specific with regards to abatements, and they would handle all of those abatements, and have we authorized them to handle all of our abatements? Is that what the contract, I'm pretty sure it does,
Says they will represent the board.
represent, okay.
The thing, it doesn't say they will handle and sign off and
Okay,
finalize all the abatement.
well, then I guess I'd have to ask this second question. If you're looking for a board vote, and we decided not to, then how would that play out in court? When we went to court, the appellate tax board, we're told your consultant, which you're paying $41,000 a year, has suggested we move forward on this, and you disagree. Can you explain that to me? With that, I mean, do you have an alternative plan should we decide not to agree to this? I don't think there is one. The plan is, he's made a decision, we've hired him, he's been working on it for 2 years, he's asked us for individual emails. I did, you did. Actually, I didn't until I saw yours. I wasn't sure where to go. But Peter said the same thing to me. So I said, yes, move forward.
Okay, but the request for abatement came to this board, not to RRG. And just to follow the paper trail and come to this board, and we gave it to RRG, it's part of their responsibility under our contract with them to handle that for us. And I guess I would expected that the same paper trail to come back from RRG to the board. And we would, even though maybe it's cursory approval or whatever discussion, but the board would respond back to the property owner. And all I saw was a proposed response to the property owner that needed some clarification. And I guess today, I don't know what actually went back to the property owner. I never saw the final version of that letter that went back that supposedly is coming from this board.
I think verbally they've agreed. I don't know if we have anything in paper.
I don't
No,
know.
there was a proposal that RRG put back to respond to the property owner. And Peter made a comment, and I asked a question, what fiscal year we were referring to? In that letter, I saw David's email, that said what fiscal year, yes, I could see that. But that wasn't reflected in the letter, proposed letter going to the property owner. So I guess my question now is, where is that letter going that went to the property owner? Could we see that?
Has it gotten to the property owner? I'm not sure.
Huh?
Not to my knowledge, I don't know if he's mailed it, I don't know. I haven't heard any updates of,
And we did get a letter, proposed letter from him.
I don't think that was the final version though.
Well, see,
Okay.
so I don't know, what's the final version it went to?
It doesn't exist yet because it hasn't, as far as I am aware, it has not been mailed out yet because, I believe David was waiting to hear back from at least two of you.
And I only responded a day or two ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is extremely recent.
Okay,
And I can follow up with David regarding a final draft of the letter. And I can forward that to you guys or have him just reply all and include an attachment of if it did get mailed out, this is what went out. I don't know if it has yet with 100% certainty or not. I can't tell you one way or the
I
other.
didn't respond to the second email that you sent, because you said do a reply all, and I sent an email back to you, and I'm like,
Right.
I don't think I should do a reply all, because then people can see my vote, and then that's.
I'm still, yeah, but as far as the, open.
Yeah,
meeting law
I
and
just,
the
I would rather
specific-
err to the side of caution than.
Yeah, and that's okay. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew he was waiting
Yeah.
on a response, but no, that's okay. I still am not totally sure about if it's okay to reply all or not in this situation, but I think erring on the side of caution is definitely better.
Well, I learned the hard way from Peter that we can't even send drafts of documents,
Right,
we're
right.
trying to figure out back and forth.
Oh,
It's
okay.
that tight, we have to
Okay.
work on them
In
here,
person.
or I
Okay.
can work on them and bring them to the meeting, but I can't send it to Fred or to Mike, do you agree with this?
Oh, I got it.
Even like a form that's gonna be mailed out, that violates the open meeting law.
Okay.
So I've become,
We've been cautious.
No, that's okay. That's good.
okay,
That's
so
good to know.
I guess, finalize my concerns of this abatement. The three things that I would like to see next meeting, whenever it's finalized, what's a copy of the final letter that went out. I'm not arguing about the dollar amount, the negotiated amount, whatever you wanna call it. I like to see the final letter that went out. I like to, and in there to make sure it has the proper fiscal years identified, because there was only one and we were talking two at one time. And the other third thing is the property record card. You sent us a copy of the property record card, but it does not show the negotiated amount.
Because that was only a proposed.
Right, okay, well, now it's final, and I guess you're gonna have to change the property record card.
I will once it's
Okay.
finalized.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I think there's a cart and horse situation
Well,
going on
okay.
right now. So I will reach
Okay.
out to David and get you guys some answers on that.
no, we're not arguing the dollar amount, I just wanna make sure, we need the paper trail to be documented, everything we did.
So
And
time
it's
of
in
the
our
essence.
What?
I believe, if I am not mistaken, with the ATB hearing, if they're in talks, then I think that date of the hearing, I think that can be pushed back and or reworked as long as both parties are in talks about.
Okay, let me clarify
But I
this.
think-
It's time, oh, sorry, I mean,
interesting choice of words, abatement and settlement, and that may be something that we're getting hung up on, not realizing that when one word is used and when the other word is used.
And I can ask David for clarification on that too, when I ask him about where we're at
Right.
with the letter and any notification or there's any update as far as what the two sides have been discussing.
So maybe when an abatement is refused, then it becomes a settlement. I'm just,
interesting.
But the other part, and David sent us the letter that he was gonna ask their attorney to sign off saying that they agreed with the settlement amount and we're not gonna go to ATB. No, they withdraw their request to go to ATB.
right.
That was the other letter. Did that happen? I don't know.
But
So,
Abby may not know.
yeah, I guess.
I don't know as much as
We
you
know
guys
the
right
parties
now.
have agreed. My question is time of the essence. Is there a time frame where this agreement falls apart? And it doesn't, we don't want this agreement to fall apart because we're waiting for the paper trail. And we don't get another meeting until a month from now. Then we get the paper trail, but there's a time frame and both sides say, you know what, you missed the deadline, whatever, I just wanna know, is time of the essence.
I can include that too.
I'm guessing it is,
Question, Mike.
I'm guessing it is, and that's why it's finally come to an agreement.
Don't lose it now.
Yes.
We don't want to start this process all over again.
Okay. Do you have something else you wanted to say, Jay? About this? No, okay, okay,
By the way, be careful of ticks, I just picked one off my scalp. Right here.
brought it in here.
I don't know where I got it. No idea.
Were you
I'm like,
outside
what the hell is this?
more or something?
Yeah, well, I was outside a lot today.
Okay, well, we got both these minutes here.
Okay, good.
What do we wanna do? Abby offered to,
I can table them too.
the regular meeting, okay, the executive session. Yeah,
But
that's fine, it's fine with me, what you got.
we don't, I don't, yes, thank you, I'm not sure it needs to be tabled.
Okay.
Okay,
Jane, your opinion on that? Do you change? Are you, do you want to table this or do you want to go ahead and?
I'm fine.
Okay, good. I'm sorry, Fred, I shouldn't have asked that, that's your position.
okay. Okay, so we have a motion to approve.
Oh, seconded. We're talking the executive minutes. Right? Motion to approve executive minutes,
Yes,
seconded,
okay,
you need a signature.
Since the executive ones aren't being
Gotcha.
posted,
Gotcha,
you
gotcha.
can sign it, but I'm not gonna.
I gotcha, I'm with you.
we were keeping them here ourselves, so.
Okay.
Requested initial link up, you know, sure. Okay. Now the regular meeting. April 23rd. I get,
Oh, and what are you doing with April 23rd minutes?
motion to approve with that
Clarification on
the farm machinery.
farm machinery, and you'll, okay. So I need to, basically, if we resolve the farm machinery today, we don't have to worry about me doing research, and if we don't, I'll have to do the research that I said I would do.
Okay.
So I second it, sorry, yeah.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. You need us to sign a copy, yeah, when.
I'm making notes on mine
Right,
right now. You don't mind, I can also get another.
okay. Okay, moving on,
Did you guys want to sign the copy of the minutes with that note about you researching it?
sure,
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine, yeah, that's fine, yeah,
In that case, you can just sign mine.
okay, we'll just do first.
Okay.
Very maps for mapping company, that's the towers. Get something.
Okay. So I just. You said, sign some. Oh, okay, I'll just make a note on that. Okay, sorry, let's making a note. Yes, for the assessor's calendar update, the map changes. That is with CAI, who runs the Access GIS mapping software. That's something I've been in touch with them about. I actually just this past week finished going through all of any lot changes, including parcel splits or parcel merges. So I have all of that entered in AP5. I just need to get that information over to CAI so they can update their maps. So that's not 100% complete yet.
And we will get copies of the updated maps as well.
That'll all be online. It's,
So there's a hard copy of the maps in the office here, are
They-
they being updated?
they're being updated on there, and those maps copies that we have in the office. I believe those were from 2019.
Well, there's been updates to them, yeah, if there's no update, you know. So I don't know who's been printing them, but I guess there has been there's been a complete set of all the maps in the assessor's office. And I guess when they get updated, certain maps get updated, somebody has been printing them and inserting it in that atlas or whatever you want to call it, of the maps.
Okay,
So I don't know, is that happening or gonna happen or?
I still have all the maps. If you want physical printed copies of those maps, they're quite large. I would probably have to put in an order with the company, which would have to be on a bill schedule if you guys wanted to pay to have them printed out like that. I don't have the printing capability for that
Okay.
size paper.
They're only on a, what, 11 by 17 paper, they're not on a full plan sheet. There's an atlas, I call it atlas of all the maps there, that size. Yeah, there may be bigger ones too, but that's the ones that we've used to refer to, I guess if somebody comes in, wants to see what property they're doing, well, I guess you can look online, to find the property owner, but
When people come in, I print
otherwise.
the online one because that's the most up to date.
Right, but I'm saying we had a hard copy. of that
I believe
maps.
they were,
I
when I
don't
was
know,
going through them, I made scans of all of the ones we do have because that's part of the certification
right,
process with DOR. I tried to make copies, the paper was too large for me to make copies. I was able to scan it. But if you wanted that same size paper, I believe we would have to order it through CAI.
yeah, I understand that, but to get to 11 by 17 is what they are now. You can't print out the maps on that size paper.
If I couldn't anybody go online and print out
It's an online
it's in the
database,
online database,
it's publicly
to date in
available,
public,
yeah.
so anyone could print them.
But it's a different.
So the question remains,
format.
do we need a copy in the office? That's what you're asking, right?
Yes, online is not individual maps, it's, you start with the whole town and you zero in.
Yeah,
on
you
what
gotta zero in,
property
right,
you
you
want.
gotta zero
And
in.
you can print just that scope that you have on your screen.
You can print individual parcel maps.
Right, I understand that, but.
That's the
I've
question.
not run into an issue with not having physical copies, but if I do for some reason run into that, we can look into reprinting I think it was 40 something pages on those big papers.
Again, we don't need the big pages, it was the 11 by 17.
Are we being a little redundant here? Do we need those?
We need a hard copy of the maps, is
Right.
the question.
Yeah, the question, yeah. I don't know the answer. And we don't have hard copies since 2019,
I have all of them.
Oh, you've got it.
I still have them.
You got them,
They're
okay.
just not,
up to date.
yeah, if any changes have been made since the most recent one was printed, then that might not be up to
So if
date.
someone comes in, you go, and they want, I want to review my property. And I want to review the dimensions. There's nothing stopping them or you for just printing it through the online portal.
Yeah, I've done that before for people. Yeah,
Okay,
that's how I typically do it.
Anybody can do that, yeah.
so the question remains.
Maybe I-
Do we need a hard copy in the office when it's already backed up digitally? I would assume.
Yeah.
Online, you can always get to it with the backup. So should we have a hard copy in the office? Sounds like they did in the past, right?
Right, yes.
So should we continue that process? This is first to me, but then again, there's so much happening in there. world of, the Board of Assessments, so much going on, it's sometimes hard to keep up. So that, I'm back to the question, do we need to do this? How many owners have walked in and says, give me that hard copy?
No,
You know, yeah. I don't know, Fred, is it,
It's easy, well, just a matter
it's a matter of policy, I
of
understand.
policy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
I do-
And
I don't think we need to table this.
and I believe they were more from the 2019 era, because during and post-COVID, there was a huge push to get everything online.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't know, in terms of the timing exactly, if that's what happened, but if you guys do want me to look into getting all updates printed out each time, I can look into getting that. But I don't know,
To what point?
right,
but I think you get copies of maps that property owners submit that show the boundaries of their property or changes that are in the registry of deeds to show the property, right?
yes, recorded plans in the
Or
registry.
plans, okay, and then we're on the big sheets of paper or whatever. You get them hard copy, don't you? Or sometimes
They
you
don't mail it to me.
don't get them anymore?
Nope, they only, so every month I get one piece of paper from the registry in an envelope. And it lists everything that was recorded that month by book and page. They don't include the actual copy anymore.
Oh. Okay,
I think it's just probably the amount of postage it would cost.
Well, given
well, okay,
given the alternatives that are available to us.
Yeah.
Right,
So it could be an economic thing, is what you're saying, and I would agree with that. It's gonna be very expensive to do this thing, and we already have it online.
so the ones online are, how often are they updated? Once a year?
more often than that. I don't know exactly how often. I've already done at least one here to update the maps. And there's gonna be another one happening for, before the next fiscal year begins. With CAI, who runs that
Right.
online map.
Right.
Because that's, so number 4B on the agenda. That's those, recorded plans I've been going through to get them entered, and then I will get those over to the mapping company so they can complete their update on their end and get that online, so people can see it if they need to.
Okay,
So that one's done.
okay. Okay, so we're gonna be, okay. Okay, let's move on then. So I guess we'll just assume we're gonna get them all online, and what's online is the most current
Yes,
copies of all the maps, okay?
and if someone did need a big piece, like paper
Get 'em one.
copy,
Yeah,
I have a contact at
yeah,
CAI.
get one.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Moving on, okay, item C, personal property declarations in progress.
I checked in with Karen from RRG about this last week. She said she's working on wrapping those up. Those are almost done.
Okay,
And the next two items are all the inspections Derek has been handling. He finished all of the permit inspections. He's working on getting those entered into the CAMA system. And he will have a big stack with his notes if you guys wanted to look over those at any point. Same thing with the cyclical inspections. He is starting those. He started them today, I believe, and he's going on for the next 2 weeks to get those wrapped up.
And is there a list of those addresses that he's looking at right now?
Yes, he has a big spreadsheet going with all of
Is it
them.
available to the assessing board?
I could get it over to you guys. I know he's still receiving more questionnaires
I'm
back,
sure he is.
so it's an ongoing list.
He's got a list, I love it, if it's not a lot of
yeah,
work.
all right.
I,
Well,
An
yeah,
Excel spread or something that's easily entered into yours
mhm.
without putting him through an 8 hour, exercise.
Well, we saw the list of building permits, well, It was, yeah, a list of permits. It wasn't a list of
This is for
which
the
ones he was
cyclical.
inspecting. No, but just, it kind of relates to that too, but if he's done the building permits for new growth, I guess last year we saw a list, a printout of the, I don't know, say 15 of the properties that he went to. And with the new growth values.
Yeah, and I'll have that for you guys next
Yeah, that'd be great.
meeting
Okay.
if you
Yeah,
want to
that'd be
look
great.
over
Yeah,
those.
that'd be
Yeah.
great.
Cause he's still getting his notes together.
I'm sure it's an exercise.
That for the permits and, yeah, new growth, but for the cyclical, well, first let me ask you, how many is he proposed on doing?
I don't know, he's still getting questionnaires back. And the list he does have, which I will send you guys, is a live list still being updated as,
That'd be great.
yeah.
That'd be great.
Because we did get a list a while ago of the cyclical ones that were at least 10 years old.
Yeah.
There's some more and
There's a lot of them,
yeah, there could be
Yeah.
800 of them or whatever anyway.
not 800. There's a lot.
Yeah, well, okay, but at least that many probably. Okay, so. Yeah, it would be good if you give us a list of where's the ones he's going to now. What does this board want to see? Do we want to see? All the new values, or do we want to see the property cards?
He usually has both of
And
those.
they're probably on the Excel. Old and new. I'm
And
sure.
when he goes out, he takes a printout of the existing property card with him and makes notes on it.
Right,
And then he will update all of that and then get a new property card with any changes.
okay, so is that, we want to see that? Notes on the cards, or do we just want to see, what do we want to see, the final values?
Oh.
What do you guys,
Let's start with the list.
this first,
And then once he's completed, I'm sure there's an Excel spreadsheet that shows the old and new, I'm guessing.
okay,
I'd like to see that, and if there are questions from there, yeah, we probably want to look into individual cards that we may or may not understand,
okay,
have to review, type of thing. But yeah, I think it's important the board gets the list and gets the ongoing updates to the list. When I say updates, when there's changes, growth, or lack thereof.
Yeah.
And, or if you can't get in, that's a curious situation. Then what?
okay. Well, that's the other thing, is he getting inside any properties,
You know, I saw. What the hell's his name? Derek, thank you. He was across the street from us, Jane, and I noticed he had his proper uniform on, and he was looking at the house across the street. I can't remember the name. I do know the name. I'll say it. And where was I headed with this?
Okay, so did he go inside?
Yes, thank you. He said as an individual and properly dressed, he's getting into many houses
Okay,
that perhaps he wasn't getting into when there was a gang was showing up. And he's been, well, people are very happy that he is very professional about what he's doing. He says he's getting in. He also said if you run around town, you see a place that looks like it's improved, give him the list. Pretty sure it's on the permit list, but love to see that too.
okay,
So yes, he's getting to your question. Yeah,
okay,
this is to the new growth. Yesterday, well, when I saw him across the street.
well, that was, okay, but for cyclical,
He
he's,
said, well, no, he didn't, I asked him about, I said, are you doing cyclical? He said, that's Nemesis. That was a week ago at least.
and he sent out, he said the questionnaires were mailed out. Was there a response due on the questionnaires? Or was
But
it
did
just,
we require one?
yeah, did he require one?
I don't believe we legally can hold people to that. We strongly encouraged it,
Okay,
but,
Don't have to tell somebody. Property owners.
yeah,
is that the ones he's going out to, the ones that?
the
say
questionnaires.
Responded, yeah, the questionnaire, or?
Yeah, he's, based on the ones he's getting back, that's how he's determining which ones he's going out to inspect.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, that's good.
We're getting a lot of them back,
Good.
both dropping off and mailed in. We've gotten a lot back.
That's cool. That's good to see.
Yeah,
And there's a questionnaire, so that's the one that this board developed last year sometime? Or is that one that you have?
I don't know.
Remember, we spent some time in
I
January.
do remember it.
Several,
I do
additions
remember
of it.
It's the letter that asked for verification on number of rooms,
Yeah.
Yeah,
all of that
Okay,
information.
okay, so you bring up a point that I've asked before on cyclical inspections, and really inspections. If we as the board here see new activity going on in a property site by us just driving around and noticing changes, should we write down the address and make a list
yes,
to give
according to Derek, yes.
to Derek to
Just send that in too.
the chair to check it out?
I don't know, maybe.
Yes, Derek has suggested that more than once.
And I also have access to, the Franklin County database for building permits, so I can,
Right.
if you send me an address, I can look it up
There
in
you
the database and see if we already have, if there were permits pulled for it already.
Okay, well, there's some that don't get permits, so depending on the type.
That's why it's
Yeah.
important for Greenfield drives around, I will get more water. Greenfield drives around and looks around. They see something, they report it to their, that's what I
Yeah.
call Greenfield.
So-
And then if it isn't existing in the permit list, then we would definitely wanna look into that.
Sure.
Okay, so. For what,
I'm just gonna get more water.
should we send them direct to Derek, or you wanna go through you, or what you want, or you want us to bring them up the next board meeting, the ones we come up with?
I think you can send them to me and then I can just run the report and check to see if there's a permit, cause if there is a permit, then we would have already known about it.
It makes sense to go through Abby, because then she can
Yeah,
touch
okay.
base with
And if
Derek,
it-
and then you're included.
Yeah, and then if it's not on the report, then I would get in touch with Derek.
Okay, so. Mike just said we, I just disagreed, send them to Abby whenever you see.
Yeah, okay, yes, okay, yeah, that's great, yeah. And then if we, and I know there's, yeah, that'd be great, without going into further discussion, I agree.
And does that include the commercial properties as well?
Yeah,
Because, you know, I see big changes happening at North Farm, so I don't know how much of that is,
I see changes also, I'm not sure we should be giving addresses.
well, no, but okay, well, it's. Yeah,
I see changes too. I do.
yeah,
Commercial, yeah,
commercial, yeah,
I do.
and I think. Last year. I don't know if it was last year, we looked at commercial separate, or the year before, when Stephen was with us. RRG came out with your one or two people, and I was with them, we looked at maybe a dozen commercial properties that had changes, new growth. And RRG came up with new values based on their experience of commercial properties. Now, I don't know if that's happening again. You have people that deal just commercial properties, or no?
I know it's valued differently. I know
Right.
there's different things to take into consideration. You mean with Derek going out to inspect that? Yeah, he's got experience with that, if that's what you're asking.
Okay, so if we see commercial, okay, we'll put that in the list.
Yeah, you could send that to me too.
That'd be
Yeah.
great, there's, I know of one in particular, so.
Here.
Okay. Yeah, right. I'll
Okay,
probably give it to you by the end, I'll give it to you for the end.
Okay,
okay, anything else on the inspections, when we move on?
Yeah, I think that's about that.
No, okay, old business farm machinery tax,
I have a update for you guys on that. The past couple weeks, I've spent a lot of time going through all the files, reorganizing,
right,
finding some interesting old things, including this form, which from what I have found was the most recent farm machinery self-reporting survey that would go out to everyone. I believe that's the most recent way it was done. It was self-reported by those being mailed out. Obviously, the farm animals are not included anymore, but it would be the machinery on the back, I think. And there were only those paper copies. I
So
didn't.
there's
find
only a
anything.
very small section. Or
Right,
the
yeah.
majority of the form is dedicated to,
I also looked through the digital file, I didn't find anything, so that's the best, most recent thing I was able to find.
But there's, that spreadsheet. You've got that spreadsheet that I guess
With the old values?
the tax collector. put
Yep.
together,
Yep,
And that it's, yeah. Yeah, this is fiscal year 25, okay? These are the updates for them.
and I believe all those values would have been self-reported. Unless someone went out and inspected, which,
I believe they're self-reported.
yeah,
I don't believe any of us went out.
cause I know RRG has never inspected the farm machinery,
Sure.
at least not here.
Okay, these were 24, okay, there was like 21, and then you're down to, what, 7 reported in 25. Then 23 was again 18, okay. So,
From the Board of Assessors point of view, should we be looking into why that has decreased so dramatically?
well, this form application, did it go out to the 17 that applied a year ago? Where did this go to?
I have no way of knowing that, there's no, this is all paper and, from what I've found going through all of the paper files, I don't know who that was mailed to, I don't know when. All I know is the people who did get billed on those spreadsheets, and that was what was used for people to self-report on.
I believe Stephen was a part of this original trek. And plus, didn't the old assessor have a for him to spreadsheet?
Yeah,
There was, I did find a lot of old handwritten
inspection sheet, yeah, that word.
records,
That
but
was sheet.
I didn't find farm machinery specifically.
Brett, can I ask a question? Good, when you're ready.
I had that, yeah. That handwritten spreadsheet,
If you remember that.
yeah, and she was recording the values on there of what they were reporting. I guess this board has never really questioned the values.
Right.
You know, all it was just a self-reporting and we kind of accepted
You're right, because he said
what
that.
they,
So what should our role be as a board? That's my question.
I guess as long as they appear reasonable, if people wanted to over-report, I guess that's wasn't too much of a concern.
Yeah. As I look at this, it doesn't look like a ton of tax dollars. But it is tax that we would want. Yeah. It's- Okay, so the Board of Assessors' position is we either let it go if it's gone or dive into it. Figure if there's another solution to maybe streamline this for more accountability. I don't know, I'm asking the question.
And it raises the ones that are on that list,
Yes.
those are the ones that already paid. Is that what that,
That's the spreadsheet I got from the collector.
so is that mean if we're gonna eliminate that, they would get a rebate for that amount they paid?
I wasn't asking for elimination, I was just wanting for clarification as to what the board's position is on the procedure we're currently using. Either we accept it or change it, that is my question.
And I think I also wanted to ask, do you guys still want to be billing for farm machinery in general?
Which other counties don't do they?
Not that I'm aware of. It's part of personal property and I did talk to Karen, the personal property specialist at RRG about this. She said she has never handled a farm machinery. And she handles all the towns. I think that there's almost 40 now.
It's.
So I don't,
If we don't wanna we don't want to penalize those for being honest and let those who may not be honest off the hook, so to speak,
Yeah,
by not reporting properly or at all. So it's a dilemma. So I'm back to the question, how should, and Fred, in your opinion, how should we proceed procedurally on this?
it's a value. It's a value through to tax paid.
That's all I think I'd like to know, and then we can come up with a decision how we might want to proceed, and that might. Nothing, or if I have to get involved and start doing some research. I don't want it to- I'm okay with either.
And some of these you don't know if they're reporting it as personal property instead,
It is personal property.
right?
If I could reiterate. We're gonna do it, let's do it. I don't want to reiterate, it's either self accounting on the taxpayer's part, leave it alone, or we get involved and. Make sure that it's fair to everybody, I guess, is really where I'm headed.
Yeah,
That's all. And I retract my statement on, it's not a lot of taxes. It is. Perhaps, let's do it the right way, even if it's a dime or 100,000, stay consistent.
okay.
Yeah, that's. You understand? Just checking.
Yeah,
If
you
you,
know that.
you feel okay. You feel okay.
I'm hanging in there.
Okay. Abby didn't know, but Jane came back.
Oh,
So she's been struggling on that. And she's trying to get over it.
How much money does it generate?
Yeah, that was kind of where I was headed. According to this, tax paid in 2025 was $1,510.
And so there were a lot of people who did not self-report this year, so go back 1 year and what was the,
3,000 cents.
About double that, yeah. Where'd you get, I'm not looking at the number here.
Just about.
It looks like a tax amount. Tax year. I can't, my eyes are so bad.
That was that. Yeah,
The 7,000.
total tax here, yes,
7,000. So we went from 2023, 7,000 to 2025.
Down to 17.
Down to 1,500. So it's about a $5,000 about. And the year before that, and in 2022, it was 7,000 also. So either a lot of farms went out of business, or are getting proper reporting. That's really what it says. So how do we look into this? I think that's gonna fall on me again.
and you said farm equipment is considered personal property? And Karen said that no one reports farm equipment as personal property in the 40 towns that are RG.
She doesn't handle any farm machinery, personal property, anything. I think it's, at least nowadays, from my understanding, it's a bit more unusual, but I know Whately is such a
Farm oriented community.
Right, so I
Yeah.
think that's why.
I thought I talked to South Deerfield and Greenville about that, but it was so long ago.
Well,
Ah,
at the amount that we're talking about,
5,000.
we get more for exemptions, don't we, for
Yeah.
other criteria that are more than 17 or 100 or 1,500 or the 7,000. So,
Well, would it help the board if we were to do a survey of other towns and ask what they did? Or Fred, you're suggesting let it go.
It's just let it go.
Let it go.
Hold on.
So then we won't collect any for fiscal year 2026.
I think it's like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, go ahead.
I think it might already be too late, because we didn't, those surveys weren't mailed out, as far as I am aware. I don't know if we could bill, or.
No, so what I'm saying is that we won't bill in 2026. Is that what we're saying,
That's
Fred?
Fred,
I
yeah.
think there was a date that you have to talk, that they're supposed to call it by April or something.
So,
If it was billed, it would have to be retroactive, I don't even know if we could do that.
No, I mean, I'm
She's
fine
not
with,
forward.
but
Yeah.
I guess what my concern was that some people might pay and then other people
Right.
won't pay. So it will just be, you won't collect any money for fiscal year 2026 from any farmers for farm machinery tax. Is that
That's-
correct?
Yeah,
if, the bit now, okay. We can clarify, based on, could you say that again, Jan? I'm sorry, you won't collect any money for 2026 if we make the decision today to let it all go.
Well, it's too late
It's too
anyway
late.
to bill for
Right.
2026.
That-
But my concern was that 2 or 3 farmers who self-report that they end up paying, but there won't be any bills, anything sent out, so it's like nobody will be billed or pay
For this point on, yeah.
From this point on.
from this point on.
I believe we mailed the surveys out, and then we got the surveys and then billed based off of the surveys. I think that's how it was done,
Okay, and the surveys didn't go out this year, correct?
not that I'm aware of. I talked to Derek, he said nothing was mailed for
Okay.
the machinery specifically.
And we've collected for the $1,510 that shows there we've collected. For
That was for
25.
2025.
right, okay, we collected, okay.
So do we need to make a motion? for
Yeah,
that?
I mean, before we make the motion, what is, are we derelict in our duties by letting this fall, or are we just simply saying this is economically not feasible for us to look into?
Probably that, but can I ask another question on the personal property? That's self-reporting, all right?
I, to some extent, I believe, Karen, she also does personal property inspections.
So but does she send out a form for them to fill out first?
Yeah, they, return, it's called form of list.
And that's based on prior years submittals, prior years? Okay.
But, she told me that the farm machinery is not included in the regular form of list.
So I'm saying, you can't just add that to the personal property. It's different.
Well, I know we're about to make a motion, but I'm most concerned about those who simply decided not to. Just doesn't seem to be fair to those who have. I don't know if there's a solution to that. But let's, if someone has a motion,
For the ones,
it just seems not equitable, and that's part of our mission statement, to be equitable across all taxpayers. And not to complicate, but if we are gonna just say, we're not gonna do this anymore, how do we fairly compensate those who were honest and those who were not? What do we do? So it's a dilemma.
we could,
Just say, okay, you who were honest, thank you so much. Going forward, we're not gonna do this anymore. Those who may still be in business and we didn't get anything from you, we're gonna pursue that. I mean, I guess we can do that too. Is that possible? I don't know if it's worth it, but I'm just,
I don't know how we would,
how would we even pursue it?
especially because it was like 2 years ago.
Right? There's no,
There's no way to know if. Because maybe if they did have something, they could have gotten rid of it between then and now.
okay, that makes sense.
why don't we just whoever's paying, that's fiscal year 25, and let that go. Thank them for reporting, and for 26 fiscal year 26, we're not collecting,
Or sending out surveys.
sending out surveys, starting fiscal year 26 and beyond. If they've done it already, let's leave it as is. I guess they have the probably the option to file for a rebate.
That's true, that's a good point, that's a good point.
If they want.
Let's wish they haven't.
Yeah, and
Okay,
leave it at that, because there's the other thing, that, you know, in inspections, we're not gonna go backtrack and give a rebate.
yeah, right.
It's, they overpaid, we don't do that, so.
And I believe the personal property abatement deadline is the same as the real estate, so it would already be too late.
Too late, yeah. Okay,
So that door is closed. And I don't wanna complicate this, but all of a sudden next year we have 87 new farms in town. So, but I don't,
Thanks for
pretend I
crossing
didn't even
that
say
bridge.
that. Pretend I didn't even say that.
we're about that then.
So, Fred, you were on a path there. Did you want to continue with that path?
Yeah, okay, we'll eliminate the farm machinery vehicle tax for fiscal year 26 and beyond.
Oh, okay.
We need
I need a second.
a second.
I understand. Let me just think this through now.
We can see what we.
Can we add, we're gonna eliminate 2026 and we address this at 27 or just eliminate it?
Fred had said moving on.
Oh, moving on.
I
Okay.
think I heard you say.
Yeah, moving on. Forever. Gotcha. Well, then I'll second that.
This is. This is what we did for the animal one. Now, maybe for the next meeting, we get something like that we all sign. We need something to sign off.
Is that what you had, things signed off for the animal?
Yes.
Yeah, we eliminated counting fouls. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
So.
I'll probably try to find that as a template and then
He's good.
oh,
This is my, copy of it. If you want,
oh, okay.
I can keep that.
Is it okay if I make a copy of this after the meeting and then I'll use it as a template?
The date is wrong on there because we approved it a year after that was signed, so.
Oh,
Okay, she may want that paperback, that long
Oh,
paper.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh.
That's her.
there's so many of those in the
Oh,
office.
okay, I didn't know if that was your only copy.
Thank you. If you guys want some, I have plenty to
No.
hand out. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so
So we can put to rest number
Do
4.
we need a second on the motion and to vote on it?
I could second it, but
okay, all those in favor of eliminating the farm vehicle machinery tax for fiscal year 26 and beyond.
I agree.
Second, okay,
Second.
all those in favor, aye, okay. And you just prepare a letter, something like that for us to sign off on, so that we recommend.
Yeah, I'll have it at the next meeting. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay,
So you can eliminate my need to look into this on the. Okay.
I made a little note. And then the only other thing under old business was that assessor position. I think Peter was waiting to hear back on that.
does anybody have, send that, I said.
I have a couple.
Electronic, if it's sent,
So. Under section
excuse me.
desired minimum qualifications. It says computer experience required, and then when you go down to necessary knowledge, skills and abilities. It elaborates on the computer skills, so it almost seems like. Take it out of education and experience. And I feel that somewhere in here, it needs to say. That the person is a clear and effective communicator. And I don't really know exactly where that would put in, if it would come under abilities or. I guess it's more abilities, or maybe is it a skill, but something. I mean, it does say ability to interact well with staff, external agencies and the public, utilizing excellent customer service skills. I still think the person, it needs to say a clear and effective communicator in that section. All right, that's all I had.
Yeah, I agree with your one on the computer thing. And then,
And I agree with, I think Fred, that might have been your writing, adding,
yeah.
I agree with all of those. I think it's.
Okay. And if Mike, if you have any comments, let me know.
No, I think I'm comfortable with two comments I've heard.
And, if you'd like, I can make a copy to give to Peter if you wanted, or,
I think Fred's got more notes on here.
So I'll do that, and give it to Peter.
okay,
Okay.
So it's really a board activity, not.
oh,
Not
okay.
that RG can't do it, but we're not placing that
Okay, and then,
task on you.
okay, and then I'll take this off of the next agenda.
Yes. Okay.
And then we're on number 6.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
And then,
Fred, are you keeping an eye on the time? Because I know you had said you needed to be sure you were out of here by
Yeah.
5, so.
we also, I know there's another meeting happening after this, so that works well for
Okay, okay.
the space too. Here's the motor vehicle abatements. There were only 4. I did those this morning. or this
Time frame on that, so I have to do mine.
You have a 3-year window
Oh.
to get it. Yeah.
Sorry.
I actually just did mine from 25 recently. I just got my check back from the city of Holyoke.
Got it.
And unless I'm wrong, I believe I can sign the report and then you guys sign each application for motor vehicle.
Just for some reason, I thought we delegated that to. Did we delegate that?
See, no, I don't think.
Or what did we delegate regards to motor vehicle abatements? Did we motor vehicle?
I have to see the list and see.
I thought we said that we delegated that to RRG. So that we weren't signing every abatement.
For some reason on the
That ring a bell?
mass.gov website, they also have this.
Well, we used to sign
Each of
three
them.
copies.
Yeah, that's right.
And then this is the report and each certificate that will be mailed.
Abby,
Yes, sir.
I believe in the past, we agreed to delegate so that we weren't signing every one of them, every to RRG. I believe we did that. So just, we don't want to sit here and sign. We want to review them, of course, but we don't want to sign triplicate physically abatements. I believe that's what we agreed to, unless I'm mistaken, Fred.
Yeah,
So I would probably like to look into just making sure that's
That's fine.
completely legal.
Oh,
And if it is, would you guys want to just sign the report on the top
yes,
going forward?
I believe that's what we were doing.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm almost positive we were doing that. And that way we
Oh,
weren't
okay.
looking at each one, signing the triplicate, and we just saw the spreadsheet on top.
Oh,
And
yes.
the abatement, given, I believe.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, I believe that's
Okay.
all we did. Again, you can look back on the minutes, Fred, but I'm almost positive we agreed with that.
So I just need to sign this then. What do you want me to do?
I
Are
guess
you afraid it's not legal?
I'm not totally sure. I'm
Understood.
not certain.
If-
There's only 4, so if you want, I can research this and then,
Still sign all 4 of them, research it.
because yeah, thankfully this time of year, there's not too many that
No.
come in.
That's fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
that sounds like a good
I
plan.
didn't realize it was illegal, but.
I'm sure it's
I
fine.
doubt it is illegal. I mean, we're still reviewing it, right? And we're still signing the cover page.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could be semantics, but certainly check.
okay, yeah, that works. I'll have an answer for you at the next meeting.
That'd be great, yeah.
So we can say this was this. Somewhere.
That does make sense, especially at the beginning of the year when there's probably a million that.
Yeah. I mean, we're not doing our duty. We're just treating.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Or the code. Oh, that's just. Make it together individual.
Actually, because this is all computer generated, right?
Mhm.
That's not like you're determining these numbers through some sort of formula. It's all done. You're just.
I just enter the number of months, yeah, and then after I do each of those, that report is generated
Gotcha.
by the same system.
Understood.
Fred, that one you're looking at is a bit of an unusual one. She got two bills for the exact same vehicle, same VIN, same registration, one from Westfield and one from us. And I called the Westfield assessor this morning and made double sure that she paid it there.
So
It's some weird thing with the RMV, I think, maybe something wrong on their side.
but
I think the other ones were all just sales and stuff.
Sure. The unusual one. It's just.
$94. So it's- yeah. Okay, so that's the motor vehicle update.
This is just different.
Oh, the one I mentioned with the duplicate bills, that was, not that one.
Good,
It was,
This is different. Why is this so different?
that's just a regular sale. The one with the duplicate bills was
okay.
$94.
Gotcha. So you don't need to.
And we still make sure.
that one is the same application, it's just a
Okay.
different format. I honestly hate that format, it's so much more difficult to read.
Gotcha. That's good.
Okay, so what are we on, 6 on B?
Those are
Yeah.
alternating so they don't get mixed up.
Great, thank you. And I have two motor vehicle commitments as well. One of them is just the regular commitment number 3. And then the other one is, commitment 1A. There's only 2 bills on that one from the RMV, so you guys can take a look at those two.
Well, we're on 6, number what?
6B,
The.
the 2 commitments.
Is that thin one?
I know, I thought that was a little silly, this is only two. I'm not sure why those were separate, but I think they were. I know they come from the R&B, so I think they were missed from commitment one, and that's why it was 1A.
Okay. So this doesn't have a name. Oh, I see the names now. I was looking up there and they're down below.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did the actual bills because there's only two anyway.
Um, Abby,
Yeah.
again, these are, there's no subjectivity in all of this. It's just simply recording of,
Does it say that the tax is $25 per $1,000 evaluation?
well,
Thought I saw that somewhere.
yes, I guess where I'm headed is, it's all generated by, hard data, and there's no subjectivity, it's just recorded, we look at it, so.
And that's all from the R&B, we get,
That's right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like there's some decisions that were made, that we have to review and go, oh, this is good, this is bad, I don't agree with that one. It's just
No.
a simple.
yeah, because,
So I don't need to look at each and every one of these separately.
Your name is in there, it's in there. True.
My name
Your
is
name vehicle? Your vehicle or something?
I did.
2400 or something, or value or
There it
something?
is,
What is that?
Suzuki. Oh, this is Michael Archibald, where'd you get me?
You're in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Must be that they plug in the year and the make and then that generates.
Michael Ralph Houston.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know, the R&B sends
Well, that's my
back to
motorcycle
the
2 years
Gemini,
ago.
and then we just make those payments based on
Yeah,
all of the
Yeah,
ones we
the
get.
information that they
Yeah.
say.
Which is why a lot of them, if there's an error, it's on the R&B, because they're the ones
Probably.
giving us
Yeah.
all the vehicles to
I don't
build.
remember it. So that, this is gonna be sent out.
Yeah, what you're signing is giving Jen, the collector, permission to bill for all of those.
So now I'll be receiving, I guess. I will be receiving that.
So you know the bill's coming.
Oh, I gotta. Yeah, oh, I know the bill's coming. That was, to tell you the truth, I paid $900 for my new vehicle and I have to come in and do an
Yeah.
abatement. But she said you got a $600 abatement coming. I just haven't done it yet.
Thank you. And the next thing, are the monthly reports. I actually also got May done this morning. I can add in the minutes that I also presented May.
Well, we'll go to like an Excel spreadsheet of the abatements that are.
Yeah, these, I believe you guys have been, I'm not sure when you started
Process.
requesting those, but it's just a kind of a breakdown by month of what was abated within that time frame.
motor vehicle excise tax thing. There is a process if you don't agree with the value.
Oh, really?
You
You can beat that too.
Right, you have to
That-
deal with the
That is-
DOR, or whatever.
Oh, yes.
Not word by time, but I understand.
We had a case on Sunday later on.
Really?
Yeah.
Man alive.
I would think with the value, you'd have to take that up with the RMV, wouldn't you?
Good luck with that.
I know, good luck getting in touch with a human being.
Really. They don't have to practice, so they don't have to care. Which is the sad state.
And I've actually been in touch with the RMV as possible about the motor vehicle excise recommits. Because of that zip code overlap with Deerfield. I'm trying to sort that out. It's been a process. And I know Amy tried to get the zip code issue resolved with USPS, and I think they ultimately shut that down.
Last week, but she was still in an appeal and I don't know,
Yeah,
I never heard any more, so we assume it's a dead issue, I guess.
I know they denied it, but as far as the appeal, I don't know if he was able to get anywhere with that.
Six. Hey, Jane, you're on this one.
Yes, because they didn't record the data last year.
They got a picture of your house yet?
Nope.
Can we just take a picture by cell phone, and send it in?
There were two bears, the inspection that they did last year isn't that, I'll come in sometime.
Oh, okay.
They're minimum, what,
Are the pictures mixed up or something?
But the wrong
Yeah.
picture, it's the wrong house.
it's the wrong house.
Oh.
I remember looking at that going, we're trying to figure
I
out.
wonder if they got that from like Google Street View.
If you do a Google Street View, my house does show up, right?
Yeah, no, it can't be, it just was a mistake.
And they did an inspection, Fred and Stephen and Mike in 2025, and that date isn't on there. That it was inspected, so I'll come in sometime on a
Yeah.
Thursday, they're little things.
Thank you.
This, real estate CPA personal property.
May didn't have anything because of the timing of the meeting.
Again, this is right from, this isn't self-reported, this is just data.
That's, yeah, generated the same way the other reports are.
I'm curious, did the individual assessor go through all this stuff? And
Yeah,
she went off, it's a lot of work here,
there she did all that.
and a lot of work.
Thank you.
BBC.
Thank you. So the charity exemptions, which are the three ABC. I have been getting these mailed in by the charity exempt properties. Seems like a huge stack, but each application itself is just huge. So David suggested for me to create this spreadsheet. And for you guys to sign off. They're all renewals. There's no new applications. These properties are already charity tax
That like
exempt.
churches,
Yeah, stuff
Churches,
like
yeah.
that.
I don't know what else would be in town that's charity exempt, but that rings a bell.
Yeah, and just signing off that you saw them and received them.
Mhm.
There's no new application, so there's nothing technically to approve, but he suggested me showing you
That's
guys.
the charity ABC, the ABC stand for,
The three ABC is chapter
So now call it,
something clauses 3A, 3B, and 3C.
it's different, okay, that's what I was thinking.
Fred thought it was the Alcohol Bureau Commission. So it's basically churches, it defines the A, B, or C to get the exemption.
Yeah, so it's basically applying, like each charity exempted property sends these in, basically proving they're a charity. All of the ones that I got were already tax exempt in the system.
But other than churches, what would,
Like a nonprofit or something.
nonprofit business?
Not a business, more so like, we have some charities in other towns that are nonprofits for programs for people with disabilities and things like that,
And their properties.
schools. Yeah, like real estate exemptions for a charity, but
So
a lot
I'm
of
guessing like
religious-
the Smith College is probably the McLeish property up in Whately.
Gotcha.
Okay,
That makes sense.
and then there's an Ottawa on it.
There's a lot of college property.
Yeah.
I understand now. Okay.
Yeah, but
School.
religious ones are also exempt.
I got it,
Like,
yes.
I don't know if Mary's ever taken the dog up to McLeish to walk, but I don't know if there are dogs allowed up there or not. I don't remember if I've ever seen, but it's a beautiful place to walk.
It's at Poplar Hill Road up that way.
Yeah,
I know exactly where you're at. Very nice. Very nice.
if they allow dogs, it would be a good
And there's
place.
a road that goes all the way to Conway. It's really a dirt bad road at the end of Poplar Hill Road. I took my motorcycle over there once. Won't do it again. Learn my lesson. But that is beautiful property up there, absolutely. Process something. I was gonna say.
I wonder what the postage was to mail all
I was
those
gonna
in.
say. Yeah, well, and there's nothing new, right?
No,
As
no,
you mentioned. okay.
yeah, those are already charity exempt in the system.
And two, okay, and they have to go through a process to make sure they are exactly that.
Yeah, they have to,
Yeah.
what's it called? Register that they're a charity with government or something, but that's part of their big
It's a process.
stack.
Do you wanna look through each one?
I don't. I don't. I just,
I think I like David's suggestion.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, so. The other things on here were some more chapter applications. I have been working on going through those with, Marina, who's the chapter land specialist at RRG. The first thing I wanted to present to you guys was a 61A application. And while that is agricultural, it is for forest agriculture. So, just refresh my memory. So the application itself, I had her come in and fill out the application last month because she submitted everything she needed, just not the application. So if you guys wanted to look over this one, she submitted it before the deadline, but not the application itself. So you guys are able to grant an extension on the application.
So it's not complete, so she needs more time, so we need more information.
We have the information, it's just she didn't
Oh, and
fill out the application
okay,
itself.
okay.
It was more of a formality, but,
And I know there's no dumb questions, but help in those chapter 61 forest management fund, that's just land that is not deemed. This taxable at a very much lower rate,
yes,
Yeah.
and,
or
I believe this particular property, has been enrolled at 61 already. Sorry, 61A.
so if you have 100 acres and you live on one of those acres, you could deem a lot of those acres as.
Because
chapter
it
61.
looks like that this was
That makes sense.
2025,
Yes,
and
so,
then this is 2020.
I had her come in, because I was going through all the old chapter stuff. We had everything submitted last year before the deadline. All of this. So I just had her fill this out because.
Okay.
As a, to make it more official and make sure,
And was my assumption correct? If you have 100 acres and you only live on one of them, you could.
yes, I believe
you could-
if you, does Whately have a minimum acreage requirement? Is it 1
For
acre
building,
for a home?
Yes.
it has requirements.
Okay, so-
1 acre, but, yeah.
Okay, so that would, anything beyond that minimum requirement can
Technically,
theoretically be enrolled in chapter land if it meets all the requirements.
okay, which,
Okay, so
Wet areas.
Fred needs to sign here.
Yes, that's
where it
the,
says signed by chairman.
that's the forest management plan.
Okay,
So I will make, if he signs it, I'll make a copy and mail it to the owner.
okay, and then we all need to sign,
Just the, yeah, the application, if you
This one.
guys, yeah.
okay, and it says date voted denied. Date notice sent, so do we have to vote on this?
If you guys want to accept it, I believe from what Marina told me with the technicalities of it all. It was that you have 90 days to take action on the chapter land application. And everything else was submitted before the end of 2025, so it's been beyond the 90 days. But she suggested having you guys sign a completed application to make it more official and cover anything if it came up.
If they're late, doesn't mean they're excluded, is what you're saying.
No, the board can vote to grant extension on chapter
They're
land.
also friends of
You would probably do more likely than not.
Yeah, and she's already been granted the exemption vote, or not exemption, the chapter land
That makes
before.
sense.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to the intricacies of all the chapter
Oh my
requirements.
goodness, yeah. It's a lot of data to have to keep.
And lots of rules,
Yeah.
if then, but then if this happens, then it's different, and then depending on the category.
Sure.
They make it as complicated as they.
Oh, that's part of the plan.
Yeah.
That's exactly part of the plan. I'm signing.
It's there.
Yeah.
Meeting on North Street.
I think it has the potential to be able to. We don't know if there are a lot of people.
Yeah.
To be.
Right, one of my coworkers
AI
said,
can't do it.
right, and it's that saying that's like, you can be sure of two things in life, death and taxes.
Yeah.
There's job security.
Right. There's a lot to learn, but I feel like.
And just you on this one. So
Yeah,
And it sounds like you're using your resources at RRG, that you're not afraid to ask.
I can't imagine doing this without those resources, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
This is really great.
This is,
I told her, I said, it sounds like she's learned a lot. And that she's not afraid to use the resources at RRG to, to contact, this is the chapter expert, this is the personal property person, and, I don't know, so I'm going to learn.
there's just so that you have one person per category that is an expert, really.
Yeah, personal property expert, chapter land expert. Yeah,
No, that's good.
I'm very thankful to have all of those
I don't
resources.
remember this type of, I don't remember going through this last year, what we're going through right now. So. We didn't
The part of this is,
do anything, right?
getting up to date on all of the chapter land, so.
Yeah. I think the learning curve has happened. I just don't remember doing any of this last year. Not any of it, some of it,
Mhm.
yeah, that we're doing now. So
So,
it's good to see.
yeah. The other two, I have two more, and these are for chapter 61, which is the managed forest land. And these two would also potentially be granted an extension. This first one was a bit of an unusual case that I wanted to present to you guys. She said she submitted this application in person at the end of 2025 to meet the deadline for this year. I didn't find that anywhere. And that would have been before Derek. And so she and I agreed that she will apply for fiscal year 27. If you guys want to grant an extension on this application. She has the forest management plan here and everything for you guys to look through. And the forest management plan does have the dates from, I think it was like October of 2025.
Can you give us a reason we would grant this six, yeah? Probably not, right?
No.
There's no reason, yeah, okay,
Yeah, I looked everywhere because she handed it in person.
sure.
I couldn't find it anywhere, but she's open to starting for this upcoming fiscal year.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So you're suggesting that we sign this, correct?
I don't know if I'm allowed.
She's requesting, what's the word?
All right, Fred, you look at it.
She's requesting an extension, we're just simply saying, okay, is
Yeah,
that correct? Okay, and the caveat also is she did come in to present this in 2025, but it couldn't be found.
2024, it said, so that was before Derek, that would have been when Stephen was
yeah,
here.
that's when she said she came in and handed it to Steven.
Okay. You don't need.
Okay.
So Fred, I figure you're the grandfather here of,
Yeah. Well, we should,
and that was a good answer, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. I just don't know,
No, I,
technically. If I'm allowed to,
For sure.
mean, it sounds like it's pretty strict because there's a place on there where it's written in, you can't mow more than twice a year because the grass needs to grow and propagate and, it needs to be native. It's not, this is not your front lawn
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, this is,
Chapter 61 is definitely the most strict, out of all the chapter categories. But it does give you the biggest tax break, so.
Well, that makes sense, that's it.
well,
Yeah.
You get a big break, we're gonna make sure you follow the rules.
yeah, follow the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Unless state mandated, I'm assuming the board has discretion, things like this, true.
For extensions?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not fund abatement, property abatement, that's more state mandated.
Mhm.
Yeah, got you, okay. We're good.
right.
And the other one isn't an unusual case, it was just handed in late.
So do these have to be done every year?
Chapter 61. I believe they don't have to reapply,
Okay.
but 61A and 61B.
Okay.
I believe they do have
That's,
to reapply every year.
that's interesting, again, I remember doing this last year. So,
Otherwise, 2 years.
then we don't need to get into details, but we can shoot the brief out, or I guess, but we know the reason. We know the reason.
And for both of these, Marina is working on preparing the liens to be recorded.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that one, if I'm remembering correctly, is that he bought the property recently. So we had him complete that affidavit, basically officially promising he's going to still follow all of the chapter requirements.
Okay.
Affidavit, wow. Brother did this. Why?
That was all of the chapter stuff I have for now. I had one thing under unanticipated, if you guys are ready to go to the
Yeah,
unanticipated.
sure.
Please go, Jess.
I just have this one bill that I received today. For CAI, that mapping company, it's their monthly bill.
And I think Fred is the one who has to sign off on the bill.
Say this, legal motion did.
Sounds,
Okay.
Was there any other unanticipated items?
no, other than. You had one property owner when I was in a week or two ago, asking about the descriptions of the property. Remember, I just curious, whatever happened,
Derek went out and did an inspection on that property, because, she was concerned about, the measurements of outbuildings. And he went out and measured and did an inspection and made adjustments. And that was relatively recently. when he actually was able to get out and make an appointment and do that. But not as an abatement, because it was way past the deadline, so it's just adjustments for the next billing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know her. All of the reasoning, but there's been some properties down there where the owner has made improvements, but it's a multifamily. And they're not occupied. This, all the units, and they wanted an adjustment because one unit wasn't occupied. And
Oh.
we said it's built, and what we saw is usable property, and that's how we assessed the value. Regardless of whether it was occupied or not.
yeah,
And I don't know if this case was, she was that person making a case that part of that building was not being used and therefore should be assessed or not.
I believe it was more so the measurements,
That should be, okay.
but I did hear about the, I think that property you're talking about with the unoccupied
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, whether it's occupied or not wouldn't affect the value.
Doesn't matter, yeah, oh, okay, well, I didn't know that that was her.
Oh, no,
Case here for this one or not, okay, okay,
I would like to state something if I could. I want to compliment him and RRG for putting together a very organized, detailed list of things that we need to be aware of. I like this meeting a lot. I hope it continues. So make sure your staff knows that this board member is pleased.
thank you.
okay, so for next meeting, okay. I'll update the property position description. We will look at submitting properties that we may want a RRG to inspect that we think has changed. And we'll all look at the NAO signing procedure or signing on to see. Got it.
For what?
The,
MAAO.
the email, the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, so the three things that we got.
And then you can give this to one of those properties and I don't have some increase. It's a commercial property.
Okay, for our next meeting, we're looking at.
yeah, I know there was some back and forth. I figured it might be faster to just figure out a potential next date.
I mean, you can meet without me on June 18th. I mean, there are times that people
Yeah,
miss meetings.
all right. You're not available at any time on the 18th?
So I'm in Maine visiting my sisters.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
That's my.
Be a long trip back for one.
And, on the 18th, I'm not sure how much I will have. It's only 2 weeks from now.
What's pressing between now and the 18th? Probably not a lot. Unless something pressing comes up.
Which, I could let you know if anything comes up before then. But, and then I also wanted to mention, I am taking the 25th off anyway.
The 25th
So-
of June.
Yes,
Okay.
so I'm probably going to switch my office day to that Monday or Tuesday. If, I don't know if that would be too different if we met on that
I'm very
Monday or
flexible.
Tuesday.
Just pencil me in, I'm good.
Yeah, I could meet on that Monday or Tuesday. Fred won't be back though. You're
Well,
not back till
the-
July, right?
Yeah, the one day before that, you're looking at June, what, 15th or 16th?
No, I was looking at probably the 22nd.
No, I'm not in town from the 19th through July, 1st of July. July 30th.
So the question is, there doesn't seem to be a lot of pressing need this week, 2 weeks, but should there be pressing? I mean, let us know. Other than that, I suggest a date we're all here.
Do you guys want to look into July?
Well, yeah, it'll be July that first week, I don't have a calendar.
The first Thursday of July is the 2nd.
No, I'm
It's out of town.
I'm still out of town.
Yeah, do you want to do,
Be the 9th?
We could do the 9th.
Okay, why don't we tentatively set up July?
Okay, and then I'll check in with you guys once we get closer to make sure that still works.
That'd be great.
Okay,
July 9th is, I will tell you, is great for me. I'm gone the following week.
okay.
So, if July 9th works for people.
Yeah,
I don't see where it would work for me.
yeah,
Say it again?
It would work for me.
Okay.
okay,
I'm not looking at my calendar, but again, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fine.
motion to adjourn,
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn June 4th, 2026, assessor, board of assessors meeting.
okay, second, those favor?
Bye.
Okay.